With just one simple program, you can block ads on every device on your entire network. From those annoying banners on your smart TV, to those invisible trackers that just slow down your computer, I'm going to show you a program that can get rid of almost all of them once and for all. This is a Raspberry Pi running a program called Pi-hole, and within just 24 hours of it running on my network, it has blocked over 6,000 ad and tracker queries across all of my devices. In this video, I'm going to show you the ultimate setup, where you can use any old computer, in this case, a Raspberry Pi, to block ads across your entire network. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So to get started, this is everything you're going to need. You're going to need a Raspberry Pi, an SD card reader, and you're also going to need a plug to plug the Raspberry Pi in, and optionally, an Ethernet cord. So the first bit of software we're going to need is this app called Raspberry Pi Imager. And all this is a really simple way for us to download an operating system for our Raspberry Pi and to burn it onto an SD card. So what you're going to want to do is to come to this URL, which the link will be in the description, and download the imager for whatever operating system you have. I'm on Linux right now. It'll be the same if you're on Windows or Mac, whatever. Just download the software and open it. Once that's installed, you should see a screen something like this. What you're going to want to do is select what type of Raspberry Pi you have. So in this case, I have an older model. It is a 3B, so I just click this. And then you get to choose what type of operating system you want to run on it. Now, since this is just going to be acting as a server, all you have to do is go down, click Other, and go to Raspberry Pi OS Lite 64-bit. That just means there's no desktop environment, so it's not going to be able to support a screen, but that's not going to matter because we're just going to use the terminal to access this anyway. So select that, and then plug in your SD card, select it, and click Next. Now, one really important part is we have to edit some settings on our installation just to make it really easy for us to set up. So I'm going to go and click Edit Settings. What you're going to want to do is set a username and password. If you don't have an Ethernet port and you just want to use Wi-Fi, select Configure Wireless LAN and put in your Wi-Fi details, and then make sure to put in your Wi-Fi region here. So I'm in Australia, it's just AU. And another really important thing to do is to go over to Services, click Enable SSH, and then click Use Password Authentication. That's just going to be the quickest way to get it set up, and that means instead of having to plug the Raspberry Pi into a monitor, we can just use another computer, connect into it, and use the username and password here to log in. So once you've done all of that, I'll just click Save, and then I'll say, yes, I want that to apply to this installation. So yep, it's going to erase all the data on your SD card, so just know that. But if you're fine with that, which hopefully you are, just click Yes. And you need to put a password in for me. And it's going to start downloading and writing. So this is going to take a while. I'll just skip till it's over. And we're done. So you can see here, it's been successfully written and automatically ejected. So what you've got to do is unplug your SD card, plug it into the Pi, and you have to plug your Raspberry Pi in now. If you don't have an Ethernet cord and you've set your Wi-Fi, you can plug it in anywhere. But of course, if you did not set the Wi-Fi in the settings, you will have to use the Ethernet cord to plug it in. So go ahead and do that and come back. Alright, so now that you've plugged the Raspberry Pi in, what you're going to want to do now is try and find its local IP address on your network. So in my case, I just logged into my router's console, my router's web page, access page, whatever you want to call it, and I looked through the client list, and I found the IP address of my Pi. Now it's going to be different for everyone. For some people you might have to go and search up 192.168.0.1, maybe 192.168.1.1, maybe you have to Google your public IP address and search that, but whatever you have to do, I can't really give a tutorial on it because it's going to be different for everyone, but you're going to have to find the local IP address of your Pi. And once you've done that, we're going to have to access it via SSH, which is really simple. All you have to do in your terminal, if you're using Windows, you might have to use an app called Putty, but if you're using Linux or Mac, this should be fine. I think you can also SSH in Windows normally, I'm not fully sure. But you have to type in SSH, your username, so in my case that was Jack, and then the IP address. So my local IP address for this is 192.168.1.118. Alright? So click that, type in your password, and it should log you in. And yeah, we're into the Pi now. So I have a really convenient list of commands up here. This is everything we're going to have to do. I'll walk you through them, it's really easy. And these commands will be in the description, just in case, but first thing you want to do, always when you get a new Raspberry Pi, is to update everything. So this will take a while, so I'll wait for that to finish, and I will see you again. Alright, and now that that's installed, we'll move into the next step, which is installing Docker. So all you have to do, again, is one command, just paste it in, and let it run. Alright, and now that Docker's installed, we can just change permissions, so it makes it so you don't have to type sudo every time you want to do a Docker command. So we've done that. And then next, we'll install Docker Compose, and that's how we're going to be running this application, Pi-hole. So we'll wait for that to install. And oh, it's done. Already installed. Cool. Now, I didn't have to do this personally because I ran mine on a server I already have, not a Pi. But I have heard online that there are some conflicts with some software running on the Pi. So just to be safe, we'll run these commands here, which it's looking like we don't need to. Again, I've only heard this happens to some people. I'm not sure. So if that's a problem you face, you may as well do that, but if not, you'll be right. So that should mean we're all good to start installing Pi-hole now, which is really simple. All you gotta do, go to this website, piehole.net, again, link in description, and we'll click the Docker install, because that's what we want to do. I'll scroll down, and we have this Docker Compose file here. I'm just going to copy that, and then I'll make a new directory with mkdir. I'll call it Pi-hole. I'll cd into Pi-hole, and I'll make a new file with nano called docker compose.yml. And with that, I'll just paste in that Docker Compose file we have, and you just have to go through and start editing some important stuff. So, off the top of my head, you should change your time zone here. So, continent, country, I guess. In my case, I think I'm going to do Australia there, and then over here, I'll do like my city I'm nearest. When you first log in to the web page, just make sure you keep note of this. This is the password you're going to need. Obviously, change the password, but in my case, I won't change it. I'll just copy it and save it for later. Scrolling down, that looks like everything we have to do. So I'll save it by doing Control X, then Y, then Enter. Now we have that, I'm just going to type Docker Compose up. And it will download it, and it will eventually start running. So I will wait for that to happen. And it looks like it's now running. So what I'm going to do now, using the IP address that you already got from the Pi, go to your web browser and type that in. So in my case, 192.168.1.118. And that brings me here. So don't worry, just click this little button here, go to Pi-hole's dashboard, and you're here, which is great. So all you have to do is type in the password you set, which I accidentally deleted it. In this case, I think I can find it here. Yep. So type in the password you set, which mine was that default one. And you're now logged into Pi-hole and it's all set up. So you're so close to finishing it now. All you have to do is log into your router's settings and select Pi-hole as a DNS server. So you have this IP address here, 192.168.1.118 in my case. What you're going to want to do, in your router's console, which mine looks like this, you have to go to, in my case it's going to be network, internet, and then advanced settings. You have to type in your primary DNS address, and in this case, just make it be the IP address of your Pi-hole server. So, once you've done that, I would also recommend putting a backup one, just in case, for whatever reason, your Raspberry Pi goes down, your computer goes down, you can still access the internet, it's not block ads. And if there's ever any problems in the future, just remember you can always come back here and get rid of your Pi-hole address here, and make it a normal one, like 1.1.1.1 or 8.8.8.8. Make it something normal, but it shouldn't go down. That's only a worst case scenario. But just make sure to input it here and save. It's going to be different for everyone's router, but once you do that, it should look something like this after a while. Let me log in. This is running my other computer. You can see how many total queries how many have been blocked, the percentage, all the domains that are on your blocked list, and you can see your top blocked domains down here. So, looking at what's being blocked for me, we have Google Analytics, but then this is something that I'm really loving down here. This TVX, this Samsung Cloud, we have a Samsung Smart TV, and when we first got it, it had those massive banner ads, which I hated. But now that we're blocking this and we're blocking this, we're not only blocking ads, but we're also blocking some Samsung tracking, which is really nice. Anyway, that's the tutorial. You should now look, and if things are coming through here, you'll see that ads and trackers are being blocked. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If it helped, like and subscribe, please. Thank you, bye!